first loss of my professional career, a devastating setback for me, and the end to a crushing, tough year for everyone, with the spread of COVID-19. But I refuse to let this set me back. I will come back and get back to my boxing and iron out all my imperfections, and trust me, I will be back with a vengeance.
What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all, get notified of all our latest content, and leave your thoughts below about the topics that we discuss in these videos. So recently, young Daniel Dubois, Triple D, Dynamite Daniel Dubois, has broken his silence. And he's a very sort of solemn, he's a very introverted guy. He's a guy that a lot of people say, he doesn't have personality, and he's just really so quiet and so introvert. So he comes out, and after his loss to Joe Joyce, where he had serious damage to his eye socket, and as he done the the unforgivable in many people in boxing, hardcore boxing circles would call the unforgivable thing, took the knee against Joe Joyce, was getting beaten, and basically he took the knee and he quit in that fight. Big criticisms about that, but he's still a young guy, and I think he's only about 22. So from that moment, from that last loss onwards, we didn't really hear much from Daniel Dubois. There was a few little, I think he dropped a few Instagram videos, but obviously everybody knew that with the eye damage that he suffered, it could be a long road back. So we were, there was people questioning, well, maybe he won't be able to come back because of that damage, and that damage may be permanent to his eye. But he's got some good news he shared on his Instagram video, and it's also on YouTube. I think on IFL's channel they put it up. And yeah, so according to Dubois, he said, look, I made mistakes, but I will be back with a vengeance. And he said that basically he will be able to come back in April, which is only about a month and a bit away, month and a half away from now. He said he will be able to come back in April. So it means he's got the green light from his doctor that he can continue with his boxing career, which I think for Daniel Dubois will be good, because he seems like one of those guys where boxing is really and truly, that's his life. That's what he lives for. I think he lives with his siblings. One of his sisters boxes, and she's a very successful amateur boxer. And boxing is just in his family, so boxing is his life. So for him to have that completely taken away from him, that would be that would be devastating. So I'm happy for him that at least he can come back. When he does come back, he's gonna retain Martin Bowers, I think his name, he's gonna retain him, but just as a manager. And he's moved over to Mark Tibbs. Mark Tibbs worked with Dillian White, and the family, like Jimmy Tibbs, his father, worked with a lot of fighters in the past, and they have a lot of knowledge in that family, a lot of boxing know-how. Many people think this will be a good move for him, and it's one of them that should be a good move for Daniel Dubois. He's at the age he's at now. He's still going to be pliable. He's still going to, he can still be ironed out. He's not at that sort of age. It's good because you can sort of fix and iron out the creases, and that's what he said. He said he's going to iron out his flaws. He's going to iron out the mistakes, and he's going to come back harder, come back with a vengeance. And he's the type of kid now where, with that loss, I think what they need to do now, give him some confidence building fights, let him fight a few quote unquote sort of knockover jobs, guys that they might give him some rounds, but no one too threatening, because I think with his eye damage, you put him straight in with somebody really decent, it's going to be a problem. You wouldn't want to chuck him straight in with someone like that. I think they need to give him a few stiffs, give him a few guys just to build his confidence, and also because there's no rush for Daniel Dubois. He's a young man, and really and truly, there's no need to rush with his career. He's got a bit of time on his side, so all they got to do, just take their time with him and give him a few guys that will build his confidence, and then eventually, once he's comfortable and once he's working well and he's confident, then that's when you want to sort of step him up in levels. But in a way, this loss it's a bad thing, but at the same time it couldn't be a good thing, because it will allow him to sort of slow down a little bit, and he's not now been thrust into world level. He can stay at sort of Commonwealth European sort of level, and he can just build himself up gradually again, and when he's ready, step up in levels, because I know now that he's gonna have kind of a target on his back now, because there's going to be a lot of guys who are really going to fancy their chances of sort of going for that same spot, going for that eye again, and knowing that, right, he's got that weakness there. If I can just get to that, then I'm going to have him and get him out of there. You know, much like I think any Deontay Wilder opponent, if he comes back, a lot of guys now, seeing what Fury done to him, they're going to have that boldness and have that confidence now to call him out and say, yep, I'll do this guy, I'll take care of this guy easy. And I think with Dubois now, that loss is going to give a lot of guys confidence. And so he's going to have to be on his P's and Q's when he does step up in levels, because we've seen him crack, we've seen him lose now, we've seen him hurt, we've seen what damage done to him, and so guys are really good, heavyweights now really going to be confident, and I'm sure Frank Warren's going to be getting a lot of calls with guys wanting to challenge Daniel Dubois. But again, there's reasons to be optimistic with Dubois. He's got a few things to iron out. He can be a bit stiff, and I think one of the main things that a lot of guys have noticed is the lack of head movement with Daniel Dubois. He doesn't really move his head off the center. Sometimes he's back and forward in straight lines, and he needs to have that head movement, a bit of bobbing and weaving, just to make himself a harder target to hit. That's one thing I would say that I'm sure Tibbs is going to be working on. So yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts. Do you think there might be a better trainer out there for Daniel Dubois that might fit him better or something like that? Or do you think Mark Tibbs is going to be a good fit? I think for me, Mark Tibbs should be a decent fit for him, and yeah, we'll see what happens. The proof of the pudding's in the tasting. So once we see him fight next few times, after April or whatever, then we'll be able to sort of make more of a solid judgment. But all the best to Dynamite Daniel Dubois, and hopefully he's successful in the future. Until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out. Catch you on the next one.